right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Movie Talks and Chill. We're your hosts. I'm Tony Serrato.
I'm Kevin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
And in honor of the upcoming holiday of Labor Day, which will be...
just past Labor Day?
Yes,
on
when,
this goes on.
when these people hear it, it will be passing, but we're still celebrating it, so, you know, it's a whole big time warp thing.
Ipso facto, I'm your boss.
Yeah, basically. So... we want to do it. It'll still be in the week of Labor Day when this happens, but we figured we would talk about movies about Labor Day, or Labor Day within the movies, or basically for those of people who have not ever gone to school, Labor Day is really just a celebration of when the unions started giving people off for laborers, union laborers. So
give them a chance to celebrate, and then we get to celebrate with them. Thank you for all your hard work.
Yes,
steam fitters, construction workers, and all the fun stuff.
Yes, everybody. So we figured since Labor Day means labor and working, that basically anything with working in movies basically covers this topic. So so here we go. Basically, a couple of the ones when you pull up. So I looked up some earlier on the lines. And, The Grapes of Wrath comes up.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, oh.
Yep.
Getting a little dark on the first one, right?
Well, I think we're looking at the same list, and I scrolled a little bit past that, and there are a couple more movies that I've actually seen that are on this list.
Oh, really? Well, let's start with that.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I was going to say number 5 on that list is Trading Places, which is...
All right, so we're looking at different movies.
Yeah, this was supposedly the 15 greatest Labor Day movies ever.
See, this one is just working hard for the money. Movies for Labor Day.
Yeah.
Let me guess, so strip teases on there and showgirls and...
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, they should, now that you say it. That makes way more sense than...
Labor Day supports single moms.
Take this job and shove it from 1981.
Take this job and shove it.
Well, if you haven't seen 9 to 5, that's a good working movie.
Okay.
It's about women working 9 to 5.
There you go.
But no, they're office workers.
Dolly Parton's in the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
She wrote the song for it, or she wrote it, and then they said, yeah, they're great for the movie. So, Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda, I believe, was the third one, and they're basically just secretaries that are working in this office, and Dabney Coleman is their boss, and he's just like your typical, like if Me Too movement happened back then, like that's basically what would happen. He's your typical womanizing, chauvinistic, he's basically just treats women however he wants, and
you can and you will, bitch.
Yeah, it's basically just back then when it was never okay, but when the more common thing was men think that they could do whatever they wanted with the women that worked with them because they were worked for them. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what this movie is, but they get revenge on him, and I think they were attempting to kill him, if I remember the initial thing was, but then they end up like just basically keeping him, like kidnapping him and keeping him, so they end up basically taking over the business and stuff. So it's a fun movie, actually, believe it or not. And then you get Dolly Parton making the theme song. Working 9 to 5, what a way to make a living.
Can't go wrong with Dolly Parton.
So that's a recommendation. If you haven't seen that one, it is fun.
So there are 2 movies on my list that I have seen, and one of them I genuinely don't like. Okay. Like, I do not like the ending. I think I've said it multiple times. How the fuck do they get the car out of the pool? Because it's Tower Heights.
Oh, I was going to say, I know I've heard that. I know I've heard that before.
Take it apart piece by piece, damn it.
While they're underwater. So you're holding your breath and with like a screwdriver or a wrench or something.
They drain the pool from the roof.
Scuba gear.
I mean, it's not impossible, but just give me the one throwaway line or show me a montage of it happening.
Movie magic.
Yes, movies.
Yeah,
that's why it
happens. Just have Eddie Murphy coming up to the surface going,
yeah,
holding a hubcap or something.
Also, they have enough energy to take apart and dismantle this solid gold car.
Yep.
But they can't then just go to a pawnbroker and broker it. They're mailing people doors and hubcaps.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Be better, Ben Stiller.
Here's your carburetor.
Better.
Yeah. Yeah, what would a gold catalytic converter be like? Good Lord, does that person win the lottery?
Also, gold is very heavy. Like, if to mail a car door made out of solid gold would cost you like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Well, first off, you didn't see anybody there holding the door. They were holding the wheel and hubcaps and a steering wheel.
Technically, you could.
Someone got a door.
If you went to like a high-end pawn shop, you could pawn that because one of two things will happen. Because it is solid gold, so they would basically buy it for
whatever gold is
the
worth.
value of gold minus a small fee because they would normally
They got to make their money.
They would melt it down, so they got to pay the fees to have it melted and all that stuff. But they will give you almost face value for it. Either that, or they'll be like, "Hey, this is a solid gold carburetor, so I'm just gonna sell this and upcharge you because it's already in the shape of a carburetor. So I can make an extra $50,000 just from it being shaped like a carburetor." Someone will buy it.
Yeah, it's true.
Not me. But
I mean, I have seen the show in Pawn Stars. So
Yeah.
they're idiots born every second.
Well, I found a movie on this list that talks about working. Then it applies today, even though it was made 24 years ago. Office Space.
Fist.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, there is nothing about that movie that still does not apply today. Maybe that we use different things more now. We don't use fax machines as much, but
Yeah, my firm just turned off our fax machines phone numbers. If we need to have them turn on, it's like a half-hour process for me. But I can't remember the last time I needed a fax. I got a couple of them from like clients, and I was like, "Can you just attach it into an email, please?"
I mean, really, that's all.
'Cause that's
you
all
need
it
to
does.
do now.
yeah,
fax
scan
me-
it, put it in an email.
Well, the thing is, there wasn't a fax machine in the office. What it did, when a fax came in, it just routed to me through as an email.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was like, okay, fine. You want to fax me something, you 1980s cokehead? I get it.
1980s cokehead.
First off, I don't know if cokehead would be the term for them. Degenerate, maybe.
1980s cokehead.
Did the pages come through shaking?
There was sort of a fine granular powder on it.
That'll work.
They tried to send us anthrax.
Yeah, somebody tried to be a domestic terrorist back in the 80s, but they tried to fax the drug or poison or whatever.
We want you to mail this to the big building.
Yeah.
Okay. What's their number? No, not that kind of mail.
Email.
Yeah, I emailed them some anthrax.
Anthrax.
Yeah.
How stupid are you? You emailed the anthrax.
I emailed the anthrax. Did you mail
So
it like I
where
said?
is the anthrax right now? That's
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of a
exactly.
priority question.
Where do we have...
Physically, where is
Physically,
the
where
anthrax?
is
That's a lot bigger than your ineptitude with emails.
Yes.
All right, Bob just died from your sugar bin, so I'm not taking anything from your house.
Where's the anthrax, Bob? Where's the fucking anthrax, Bob?
It's like that old episode of Taxi with Danny DeVito, but Latka, the mechanic guy,
Yeah.
he makes his family's cookies and he brings them into everyone. They're like, "Oh my god, these are amazing! I love these things." They're like, "What you put in them? Cocaine?"
No.
Famous Amos. He wanted to be like Famous
Yes.
Amos.
No. There's cocaine in these cookies. No.
They were all stoned. Tony Danza picks up vending machines and moves them around like the break area. I don't know how I remember this. I think I was 5 when I saw that. One episode of Taxi.
Hey, that's good old Andy Kaufman for you,
I
man.
watched it again last week.
Yep. That's a lot of specifics for 5 years
yeah,
old.
right?
It was almost 40 years ago.
Almost. Dick. And the other movie on my list that they say belongs to Labor Day movies, which I'm kind of on the fence about saying yes or no, is Good Will Hunting. So the main plot about it is Matt Damon being recognized for his genius and working with Robin Williams and working with the other professor to, make sure that he is a true mathematical genius. But if you read the description, you're like, well, the movie starts out with 4 working Joes. So, Matt Damon's the janitor, the best friend's the mechanic. Ben Affleck does another mechanic sort of job. I don't know if it's ever explained what he does, but
They do a lot of laboring,
Yeah.
construction type work. I mean, they all do different things, but they're basically just doing whatever job they can get.
Yeah, and which is why I think it's okay to include in this Labor Day episode, because the movie does start out with showing that these are just average working Joes trying to pay rent and survive.
Blue collar.
Yeah, blue collar, Bostonians.
Bostonians.
So that's why I have seen that movie. I like it. I do recommend it as a Labor Day movie.
Okay.
Then can I just get on to this next movie in the list right now? Called
All right.
Fist, starring Sylvester Stallone.
Fist.
Fist, and it's an acronym because there's a dot in between each letter. But it's apparently supposed to mirror Jimmy Hoffa.
Okay.
He plays Johnny Kovac, a warehouse worker in Cleveland who becomes part of a truck drivers' labor union. Mm-hmm. And then, it all goes crazy from there. And it goes to say, this may sound familiar to you, and yes, the story is inspired by Jimmy Hoffa.
Okay.
And I like the story of Jimmy Hoffa. I mean, don't get me wrong, it sucks for Jimmy Hoffa in the story. But it's a nice little urban legend that no one has found this guy's dead body.
Well, it's not, you can never... It's a movie, any movie that about Hoffa, you can't spin into a happy ending.
Yeah, that's true.
You've got to tell the true story of it. That'd be like if you try to make like the Challenger shuttle movie.
Yeah.
There's
Disney's version.
It's gonna happen. I mean, it's like it sucks, but it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I mean,
Everything leads up, and they just don't even show the takeoff. That would be the good Challenger story.
Yeah, it's only 80 minutes long.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not just gonna like all of a sudden pan down like it's launching. It goes to black screen, and the next thing you know, it's set down on a Broadway play, and there's a musical, and everybody's dancing and singing.
And then the old guy from Up gets out, and then his wife's there, and it's an actual happy ending. I like it.
No, it's not going to happen. And by the way, we are not making fun of the Challenger explosion.
Oh, absolutely
no, everybody
not.
knows that. I'm just saying, illustrating.
Case point.
You can't make it a happy ending.
Yeah.
But there is, a great movie about Hoffa.
There is a Hoffa movie out there.
That's called Hoffa with Jack Nicholson. He plays Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I just there was a...
Joe Pesci's in that one too, right?
I'm not sure if he was in The Irishman.
Yeah. Okay.
Which
that's
is
what
also
I'm
about
thinking.
Hoffa.
That's what I'm thinking of.
I just there was a massive manhunt for this guy spanning months, and no one caught a lead, a whiff, nothing. To this day, no one knows what happened to him. Odds are the mob killed him.
Somebody knows.
Oh yeah.
And somebody's not telling.
Yeah. That person got killed almost immediately.
By the way, if anybody is looking, we are at Patrick's apartment.
Hey, if you watch Bruce Almighty, Jimmy Hoffa is buried in a small town in Buffalo, New York.
Yep.
Right outside the police station.
Yeah.
Hey, kid, you want to make $20?
Hey, $20 is $20.
That's
I'm just
speaking
saying.
of labor.
All right, so those were the movies I wanted to talk about real quick.
But you have I was actually when I was going to bring up Hoffa. That was going to be one of the ones because it is about the labor union. Yeah, I mean the Teamsters. My grandfather was part of the Teamsters.
I think everybody in New York City back then.
Basically, anybody Northeast
Yeah.
is part of the Teamsters. Everything's labor and unions up there. Still exists.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of them that I had seen. What was the one? It's not here on this list, but it popped into my head as we were talking. I'm trying to think.
Laverne and Shirley.
No, although that's a TV show, but yes, I would fall under this category.
You meant Thelma and Louise.
Yeah, Thelma and Louise. Yeah.
Thank you.
Talk about happy endings.
Yeah. I mean, they looked happy as they were driving off the cliff.
I know the movie I'm thinking of. Swimming with Sharks. I think I might have talked about this before. So
you've talked about a lot of movies, my friend.
Yes, but this one.
What's it called? Filming with Sharks.
Swimming with Sharks.
Filming
it's,
with Sharks.
Kevin Spacey. The other guy, I'm trying to think of his name. I know his name, but he's like one of those guys. He's been in. He was in Hoffa. That one popped into my head. He plays the guy in the Hoffa movie with Jack Nicholson. And I believe that actually shoots him because he walks up to the car, Mr. Hoffa. Anyway, he played in that movie where he gets locked into a Target. Back in the early 90s. Mm-hmm. There's with this guy.
I found a TV show from 2001. I'm assuming that's not it.
No.
This one stars Diane Kruger.
No. It's called Swimming with Sharks. Yeah. Just type in film, and so basically he's working. He works for Hollywood. Working for this production company in Hollywood. He's an assistant. He gets a job. He's fresh out of college. Wants to be a writer, director, blah blah blah. As everybody does, and so he gets this job and working as an assistant, a PA. For this, bigwig in this production studio, which is Kevin Spacey's character, and Kevin Spacey treats everybody like dog shit garbage, like
horrible bosses.
Yeah, like that. And the thing is he gets so fed up with it after a while, he basically ends up getting to his house and torturing him. So the whole movie kind of goes back and forth. It basically you'll see him torture him, then you kind of go back to see kind of what leads up to that reason, but. And he basically, Kevin Spacey's trying to talk his way out of it. At first he's getting pissed at the guy for doing what he's doing. Hey, you're not going to get away with this. Then he starts, subsiding to it a little bit, or getting susceptible to his thing, and then he tries to reason with him, but the whole time he's basically just gonna torture him for all the times he put him through hell. And there's one scene in the movie that I have trouble watching, and they don't even show it really, but he's sitting here, he's cutting his face up, but he's doing it with an envelope.
Oh,
so he's giving him paper cuts, and he's like, you know how many paper cuts I got? He's like, the worst ones to get? He's like, when you get them on your tongue. And there's a scene, he just grabs and he's like, take your tongue out. And he grabs his face, and all you see him is put it up, and then you just hear a scream. It's like black screen, but I cannot watch that leading up to, because I know what's going to happen. But he beats the life out of him.
It reminds me of the movie Fled with one of the Stephen Baldwin and I think like a young Lawrence Fishburne. Stephen Baldwin gets kidnapped by like the mobster. He's like, you ever heard of Chinese torture, death by 1,000 cuts? He's just hanging there like shirtless, and he just slits in between the rib cage. Like, every time you breathe, they're gonna grow bigger. I'm just gonna walk away until you ask me to kill you.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But the paper cut in this movie, it was only a small portion of it. I mean, he punches him, beats him, he squirts like lemon juice in his cuts and stuff.
Oh.
And so he does all this stuff, but basically, he's obviously throughout the movie, he starts getting involved with this woman. The woman's like a Hollywood type woman, and so it gets into a whole big thing where like he was sleeping with her behind his back, and so then he finds out, he tells him, and then she's basically comes in, is like, oh, I'm the victim, I'm so sorry, blah blah blah. And they end up basically, if I remember correctly, I don't want to spoil it, but something happens to her at the end when she finds him at his house as he's torturing him. And then you don't see her ever again. And basically this story gets twisted around where that guy gets promoted by Kevin Spacey because they enact whatever happened to this woman was self-defense against... They basically turned on her. So at the very end. So basically, it's nothing more of the... It turned out to be, at the beginning, you think this guy is just like wants to be treated fairly, but at the end of the day, he's like, if the right kind of deal comes along, he'll just take it and move on. So it's a good movie though. If you've never seen it, and I know you haven't, not sure if you have.
I don't think so.
But it is. I think it's available on like one of the free networks,
like Tubi
or something. Mm-hmm. You can watch it on there. I would definitely, even with the ads, it's still worth watching because you still get all the cursing. Nothing,
nothing gets
privately
taken out.
bleed out. Yeah.
Shameless self-promotion. Speaking of free streaming sites, we're about to be on one when it launches in about a month.
Yes.
Elevation TV.
Yep. Elevation Movies.
Prepare to get elevated.
Yes.
Yep. We will be on there when it launches. Hopefully in the next few weeks.
Yep.
I know they're still dotting some I's, crossing some T's before everything goes live. But
why is that always the last thing people do? It's weird.
Well, it's the easiest thing to do at the end. But then they realize how many T's
I think they're just making sure all the I's are dotted.
Yeah.
It's
not
not
they
like
realize
they just
how
didn't
often those letters come up in words.
You dotted the T's and crossed the I's. Now we got to start all over.
Damn it.
You just put a dot in the paper. Where's the long stick going down?
Don't worry about it.
What the fuck's wrong with you, psycho?
You even put the T above the I. It's not even going through it.
That's not even how English works.
What are you making, calligraphy?
Fucking hieroglyphics over here. Get the fuck out of here.
Hieroglyphics.
Need my damn Rosetta Stone to read this shit.
Good lord. I do like on this one list I had is they had Wolf of Wall Street on there.
Yeah.
I found another list, and I think I'm on the same list as you guys because Wolf of Wall Street on here. But I did mention this movie, and we didn't talk about it. But
which one?
Horrible Bosses.
One and two.
Yeah, the first one is way better than the second one.
Obviously.
Oh yeah.
That's just like the first Hangover movie.
Yeah, but if you haven't seen it, Horrible Bosses stars Charlie Day. Not Patrick Bateman. Jason Bateman.
And Jason Sudeikis.
Patrick
Bateman was the code name for the guy from American Psycho.
Yes.
Yep.
But all three of them, they have horrible...
You're Paul Allen.
Horrible, disgusting bosses. Like Charlie Day's boss is Jennifer Aniston, and she just keeps sexually harassing him.
Is that really a bad thing?
It is when he wants to remain loyal to his fiancée, and then she drugged
that's
him
his
and
problem.
then took provocative photos like, oh, I guess I'll just have to show these to your fiance. Like, that is some psycho shit right there.
Have you ever heard of coma boners?
The worst one is Jason Sudeikis. I feel so like that one hit hard. Like him and his boss they were really good friends, but the boss's son was a real just piece of shit.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah, and
hey, we gotta cut the fat around here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I want you to fire the fat people. What? Was it? He was like, all right. What about Hot Wheels over there? Like, he's in a wheelchair. That's permanent.
Yeah.
And like the girl he was trying to fight, he's like, you can't fire her. She's pregnant. She's not fat.
Well, the thing was, like, the boss, the original boss was to give Jason Sudeikis the company. He was like, you're a lot better than my piece of garbage son. But then he dies of, like, natural causes of a heart attack before he could put, like, pen to paper. So Colin Farrell becomes the boss. I was like, oh, dude. And then Kevin Spacey was Jason Bateman's...
He's just a full-on straight dick.
Yeah, that guy was awful.
I think Kevin Spacey
he was the devil.
Yeah, I think actually Kevin Spacey plays the character of the person he is in real life.
But
actually, Kevin Spacey is probably very close to the version of the guy in Swimming with Sharks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so they probably watched that movie and said, "You know what? We got this movie called Horrible Bosses.
I want
the same exact character.
Yeah, I want to do this guy.
Give me that guy."
Because we want them. We want these three characters to want to kill you. Yes. And then they come up with like a throw 'em out from a train kind of scenario from Hitchcock. Like, if you kill my boss, no one will suspect you because you don't work there. And I'll have an alibi.
Crisscross.
Yeah.
Crisscross. I
killed
like
your wife, now you kill my mama. That's fair.
Yeah.
I like how Jason Bateman's, because they go out and they start scouting out the bosses, but he's out there scouting out Colin Farrell.
And it's not throw mama from the train. Two strangers on the train. That's what I was thinking of.
And so it's like, I don't know, 2 a.m, as he's basically just scoping him out, and he's in there doing like throwing nunchucks around and like doing karate. He's like, my God, where does he get the energy? Oh, just mainlining cocaine. Okay.
But to your point, what you just said, also not Throw Mama from the train, but 2 men on the train,
2 strangers,
on the train. So in Throw Mama from the Train, no, he watches that movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he watches. That's where Danny DeVito gets the idea.
So it's movie inside a movie inside a movie. In fact, if you go back and really watch Throw Mama from the Train, it's got a very Hitchcockian type style to it.
Yeah, well,
it's like
all of his work has become like tropes in cinema at this point. Yeah. Like Rear Window. Well, I don't know if Birds is really a trope, but I do watch out for them in movies. Yeah,
Psycho definitely.
Psycho. Yeah, but 2 strangers on a train. I think that plot line's been done to death.
Yeah. But it's a good plot line.
It works. It's held the test of time since the 1940s when Hitchcock was making shit.
Yeah. Damn it.
Right? I'm not arguing with this. I'm just violently agreeing with you.
To do a murder, you have to take away the motive. I mean, wait. This is not. It's not an informational podcast.
What's the motive?
Yeah, this is not a true crime podcast on unsolved mysteries. Okay, so I pulled up another list, and they're number 1 for Labor Day movies. Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
It's Labor Day weekend.
It is Labor Day weekend. Okay.
All right, and they're 2 working guys. They're trying to make a living.
They're just trying to, uncover that Bernie was siphoning money out of the company.
Didn't know. What's part of this? Richard worked on that part, sir.
Yeah.
He's got all the tar on the paperwork. He's like, that's ink.
I will explain myself, but I feel like I don't have to. But I do like the second one more than the first one.
We'll be back to you after this commercial
break. Short commercial break. So Patrick is taking a break.
He's in what doctors call a coma.
You ever heard of coma boners?
We just bring it back over here, put glasses on.
Yes.
Sit in the chair.
Just put a piece of metal on my head.
And we
we'll
start pulling
walking
strings,
around.
and you see the hand go up. We can definitely get at Bernie's in right now.
Let's do that.
The weekend at Patrick's.
The thing is, if we leave you just sitting there like that, people would be like, he used to be quiet all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So we could probably get away with it.
He got into the medicine cabinet a little early today.
Yeah. Probably had one too many of those.
Put a controller in his hand. They won't know the difference.
Yeah, pretty much.
I just had 7 cherry lemon drops. He'll be fine.
Yeah. He's good. He's good.
Yep.
All right, so that was my contribution into why the fuck? Oh, it does take place on Labor Day, doesn't it?
No, it's still a funny movie.
Yeah.
Oh, very.
Once again, it's one of those movies that's become just a trope in all of like Hollywood and TV. Like I think the only, I don't want to say the only people that have done it just as well, but How I Met Your Mother in the last season, Barney, they're getting ready for Barney's wedding, and he just gets so drunk he doesn't wake up the next morning, like the morning of the wedding, to do the photos with like the family and everything. Mm-hmm. So they tell him like, yeah, we weekended Barney's you, like we had like a pulley and we were all wearing 80s sunglasses. And they're like, "Are we ever going to tell him the truth?" Like, no, my dad would kill him if he knew that he just slept through all of the very important photos that he paid for.
It's a fun movie, though.
Yeah, I like it.
I think the best part about this is when the woman he's sleeping with, that's who's the mob guy's wife. Mm-hmm. She goes over to see him at the beach house. She comes down all happy.
Yeah,
it's like, and then Andrew McCarthy's like, I can't believe the guy gets laid more dead than I do alive. Yeah. It's like how?
Or the guy that keeps trying to kill him every time. He strangles him and he like checks for his vitals. And he's like, and then he like comes off one of the instances. He comes off of the back balcony and he falls on him. He falls on him. Don't you get him? He starts wrestling with him.
Barney.
So. Alright, I'm going to throw this movie out there and I'm going to let you guys decide whether or not it would be Labor Day-ish, because it does involve working hard laborers, or not.
Okay.
Brewster's Millions.
Well, he worked really hard on getting rid of that $30 million.
Yes, but him and John Candy were just also poor as shit like amateur baseball players trying to make it big, and they were just trying to hustle and do that until he got $30 million. I mean, back in the day, I say that like, back in the day was a lot of money. That's still a lot of fucking money today.
Yeah, but he only had 30 days to spend it without having any assets.
Yeah, and he could only donate like 5% of it away or something like that.
Yeah, so he basically, and that was to get the $300 million.
Yeah.
So I remember he had the whim clause where I think he got like $3 million if he just walked away right then and there. Yeah. Which still would have been fine.
Yeah, I would have taken $3 million.
I could retire especially on that right now.
1970, whenever that movie came, $3 million was worth probably like a lot of money back then.
8 times more than this.
Even now, I could retire on $3 million.
Oh yeah,
invest it wisely and go on about your day. But I would have to. It would be a hard decision not to try to spend $30 million to make $300 million.
Right.
But I liked when he's making those bets and stuff, and then he ends up like winning all the bets. He's like, you ain't allowed to make another bet anywhere, in this area ever again.
Yeah, because he was allowed to. He would donate 5 or 10% and something like gambled 5 or 10% away, but the rest he had to actually spend without having any assets. Yep. So he was living in hotels. He was renting tuxedos every day.
Well, he's hiring people to do stuff too. He's like, I'll pay you like $2,000 a week or something like that. I would have gone extremely. I'd be like, I'll pay you $20,000 a week. But I think they had to regulate. I don't think they ever really stipulated how much he could pay people, but I think they would probably have said, "Hey, you can't just pay somebody $1 million a week."
Yeah.
To get rid of your money, you
gotta... I mean, if you could have, he's just hired 30 people. Like it'll be gone in a week.
Yeah, I'll be like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah, but I mean, it works in the end. He's like, I don't care about the money. I hate money, but I got $20 left. We're about to be fucking rich. So he goes and buys a hot dog or something like that. So him and the love interest, which was a lawyer at the firm, who was trying to screw him over.
Well, it was what's her name? It was the woman that worked for him. She worked for the lawyer. She worked for the law firm who was working with him to like account for all of his spending. Yeah, but he went off on the side and was helping him do. He was going behind his back. And those guys finally hired him to misplace a couple of the receipts or something like that.
No, they took like $30,000 out of like the total. So
it was the deposit because he was helping with the interior decorating. He was redoing that room, so he needed a $30,000 deposit for all the stuff. So what he did was he kept it. And instead of actually putting it towards the deposit, he's like, "No, here you go, Bruce. You got $30,000 now." And he's like,
but they had like 20 minutes suspended or something like that.
Yep. Yeah. He's like, how much to retain you as my lawyer? And she wasn't a full-on lawyer. I think she was paralegal or something.
Yeah.
And he's like,
or a law student or something. Like that.
Yeah, something like that. He's like, "Well, how much is that? Here, I'll give it to you."
Yeah.
Here's $30,000. Sign it.
Sign it now.
But the best one, the best scheme he did in that whole movie is when he bought that stamp for like, I think it was like $1.5 million, collectible stamp, and he's got an asset, and he's like, it's not an asset anymore. He's like, he mailed it. And he sent that letter in there saying thank you and had it on there. Because officially, once you mail it,
it's not yours.
It's null and void.
Yep.
And it's not worth the $1.5 million anymore. The stamp has been stamped.
He mailed it.
Did you guys hear Post Malone paid an undisclosed amount of money for one Magic the Gathering card?
Oh,
so it was the one. It was the One Ring card.
What?
Yeah,
he bought the One Ring.
He bought the One Ring. So no one is disclosing how much he paid for it, but it was originally appraised at $2 million.
Yeah, because it was the only card.
Mm-hmm. So he bought it. He won't tell how much he paid for it, but he bought it. Gavin just lost his shit.
You damn right I did. I didn't even open the set. I thought about it just because of that.
There was a chance.
You got it now.
No, but he bought it straight up. Everyone's assuming he paid like between $2 and $3 million for it.
I'll give you $1.
Yeah. It's not even worth that on the cardboard.
At least according to Tony.
I'm just, for me, it's like one of those things, like when people come up with like these kind of collectible card things and they say they're worth so much, I'm just like, I don't see how.
Well, that one is worth because it's the only one in the world.
Yeah, it's the
I
only
know,
one
but
in
it's
existence.
like,
well, what's really fun is Jake Paul spent like $3 million on like a box of Pokemon cards, and he was like, "Yeah, there's an extremely rare Charizard in there that you'll easily recoup most of your money." There wasn't even Pokemon cards; they were all baseball cards. He got suckered.
Well,
Logan Paul.
Just going back to the Labor Day theme. Just stick with working hard. To make your money.
Work hard to get your money. And
9 to 5. Well, this one's showing up on everything.
9 to 5.
Yep,
of course it does because it's the movie about working. You guys ever seen Tucker, the Man in His Dream?
No, I've never even heard of that one.
What's the one?
1988. Jeff Bridges. It's about he trying to make his a new type of vehicle, and he ends up basically trying to compete with all the. He's trying to make this very unique. It's called
I've seen that episode of The Simpsons.
No, well, they probably stole it from that.
What's the one of Mike Douglas where he loses his shit in the fast food place?
The Game.
Oh no, you're talking about I know which one because he's like he almost looks like Al Bundy.
He looks like a stockbroker almost.
Yeah, he's got the tie and he's got the briefcase. I think it's hang on a second. Wait, don't tell me. I do know what it's because he goes like ballistic.
Yeah.
He ends up just freaking out or going on a rampage.
He does. It's basically a scene of him going postal, but just not in the post office.
Yes. God, what is that called though? I know the movie because I've seen it and I can think of the name. Yeah, I don't know. Let's look it up.
You have your own magic devices. I'm trying to.
I'm thinking in my head.
I'm trying to figure out if this movie deserves a Labor Day spot, and I think it does.
Well, that's the thing is.
Well, he's looking this up.
A Bug's Life. So it is about the working class and basically revolting against the management class. But I mean, it's it's a Pixar, so it's not Les Mis. It's happy-go-lucky.
I would say
like they walked into the office and said, "You're out of power now." I'm like, okay, you win. Like I'm not. Please don't behead me.
Falling down. Yep. Well, I would argue this. Isn't there a movie called Ants?
Yes, with a Z.
Yep. I would say Ants is probably more because ants are known as the hardest working.
Well, in Bug's Life, the main character is an ant.
But the movie Ants has all of them.
It's all about
all ants. Yeah. They are the hardest working
Stallone almost
colony.
Passed.
Yeah.
Just saying.
They outnumber us like 10 million to 1 or something like that.
Yep. Yes, they do. But we're still winning.
It's because we're bigger.
We're just giants. They have Shawshank Redemption here on the list for Labor Day movies. Now, I guess they are laboring because they are working on the roof there. When he has to make... And that was a lot of work Andy made making that tunnel with that little pickaxe.
Oh, Andy Dufresne.
Little mini rock.
Poor old Andy Dufresne.
This movie, I don't think, belongs on this list. Ocean's 13.
Well, I mean, they're all working.
But they're all...
No, because in Ocean's 13, they had to go, the two brothers, the twins, well, the one twin brother, not twin, but the one brother had to go to that labor to make the dice.
Right, they had to go down to Mexico.
Yeah, down to Mexico.
Oh, that's right.
And they worked in that factory, and then he was like revolting because they weren't making a lot of money.
Right.
And so his other brother went down there.
And then joined like the riots and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, we're not going to let him do this to us.
They're throwing Molotovs and
They're
stuff
cutting
like
him down for what is it? 16 cents a day? It is a 20% increase.
And he's like, so what does that come out to? He's like $30,000 like,
each? No.
Everybody. Like, write him a check.
Yeah. we'll post it.
And one of them was Scott Conn, I believe.
Yeah, that was the one brother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one that when he went, he's the one he sent down to get.
Yeah, like your brother's like, oh, I'll go get him. And then the next scene, he's throwing the Molotov at the building.
When he's on the phone, he's like, we're not going to let Stan let him
it's Casey Affleck that goes first.
Yep.
And then he has to come down and, yeah.
We're not going to let him do this to us. Like, we need another 16%. It's 20% raise. All right, so how much? 30,000 each? No. The whole thing.
All of them.
Cut a check.
So as I'm cruising through here, so I came across the Hoffa thing. So it wasn't Joe Pesci, it was Danny DeVito that was in Hoffa.
Okay.
But Joe Pesci was in The Irishman.
Right.
So same shorter guy.
Yeah.
Same shorter type guy with a tie. In the Name of the Father, October Sky. Here we go.
There is a movie out there with Josh Brolin called Labor Day, and I have not watched it. Has anyone seen it?
No.
I have not.
No, but I have seen The Informant. I'm not sure how that falls under Labor Day movies, but I still love that movie with Matt Damon.
Damon.
And if you haven't seen The Informant, put that one on your list. It's just a fun time. It's got Scott Bakula in it. It's got a lot of people in it, but I would recommend.
Tobey Maguire's in this movie. I have to watch this movie.
Which one?
Labor Day.
Labor Day.
Yeah, it's Kate Winslet, Josh Brolin.
That's probably
Tobey
another
Maguire.
one of those where they just throw a bunch of stars in there and then have like 18 stories going on at the same time.
Yeah.
James Vanderbeek, J.K. Simmons.
See?
James Vanderbeek.
Yeah, he's a real heartthrob
Listen here,
nowadays.
Dawson's Creek.
Yeah. Shut up, Reindeer Games.
I'm not Ben Affleck. If
You
you white,
white, you Ben
you're Ben
Affleck.
Affleck.
I
I mean, that's a good one too. Role models.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're going through schools and trying to work.
This is an acceptable hug.
They're basically working off their debt to society.
Basically. Let's see here. I'm going to go on another site as we're talking here because I'm like, there's so many good movies. Oh,
The problem is sticking to Labor Day movies and not moving into fall movies, because our last episode or the next episode will be about fall movies.
Well, it'll be the one after that one.
So after that.
Yes.
So the movie,
It will be
the
after-
episode coming up is about fall movies. So trying to make sure I don't, because there are a few movies I want to talk about, but like, ooh, this fits more for the fall movie discussion.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
Anybody get that?
Timely, wimely, wibbly
Twice.
wobbly.
Gung Ho. That's one for Labor Day right there.
Okay, why?
Michael Keaton works in a car factory, and it's about this Japanese company that comes over. They're going to buy him out. So a lot of guys are going to lose their jobs, but they decide they work out a deal with
Isn't that the
work
plot
together.
of Cobra Kai season 3?
No.
Oh.
No, not working in a car factory. That's not it.
That
But
was
it's
that was a
basically-
dealership.
It's them, melding with all these guys. They've already been working in a factory. It's an American factory, but then these Japanese crew come in, or Asian, Chinese, whatever group it is. They come in, so they're trying to. They basically bought out most of the majority of the company, so they're implementing their ways of doing things. So stuff like doing exercises on the roof at the beginning of the day or outside, and then their ways of building cars, and they're just having trouble adapting to it, but. It is a lot of comedy in there too. I mean, it was around Michael Keaton time. It was 1986. So it was like around Mr. Mom time and stuff like that.
Okay.
2 years before Beetlejuice, 3 years before Batman.
Gotcha.
So
he
he
was young
was-
Keaton.
And 5 years before Multiplicity?
Probably.
When did Multiplicity? I think Multiplicity came out in 93, 94, somewhere around there. Gonna have to
All right, so a
Google
few
that
more years. But
Yeah, whatever.
watch Gung Ho. It's a good movie. You'll go gung ho for it once you do.
Is that
1996?
Roger Moore's first film?
Roger,
Roger
and
and
me.
Me?
So Multiplicity came out in 1996.
Okay, so 10 years before Multiplicity.
Yeah, we knew that.
You do now.
Stupid.
Another movie just came to mind while you were talking about Gung Ho. It's a movie with Jason Statham and Ian McShane, actually. It's about a guy who was working at a factory, and it looked like this whole part of the country was just in shambles because the factory was being shut down, and like him and the rest of the workers were in line to get their final and last checks, and it's just half, like straight up, they're not going to pay him or anyone else what they were deserved. And then basically they roll up and they bring out like the fire hoses and they just start pushing all the workers back, like get the hell out of here. And then that night when he goes home to his wife and he's like, hey, we times are going to be tough, but we can make it through it. Somebody breaks into his house and kills his wife and then frames him, so he goes to prison. And while in prison, the warden makes him drive in a death race, because the movie's called Death Race. Okay. So he's driving. Yep. So for the rest of the movie, he drives a Mustang Fastback and just decimates everything.
As another dude, though.
No, he plays Racer X or something like that.
Because the guy actually died.
Yeah, but he was such he
was a huge star.
Yeah, it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts.
You have to finish 10 races and you get your freedom.
Yeah.
But basically, they didn't.
X was on 7 or something like that.
Yeah,
it's like the Dread Pirate Roberts. Like there's no one person; it's the name that keeps going from person to person.
Yeah. Darn it.
Yeah. So I just thought of Death Race first time ever since that movie ended, I've thought about Death Race again. Because it's not the best movie in the world, but I mean, it's Jason Statham and Ian McShane. I love Ian McShane's character. He's I got released 4 years ago, but it's something about, I can't live life on the outside, so they just let me stay in here.
You just got institutionalized.
Yeah. But,
So I know one that's 100% about labor in time.
Okay.
With
okay, so
Justin
In Time is the name of the movie.
Yeah.
You weren't telling me that you'll tell us the name of the movie In Time.
In Time. Yeah. I didn't go through the synopsis and then halfway through tell you it's Death Race.
Because if I said that at first, you would have and then I wouldn't have finished anything. So I had to... I
had to hold off. I had to hold off. The camera picked it off, but I had to hold off my
Oh, I saw it.
So will everyone else. But In Time is, that's the currency is time. So when you go to you no one's ever late for work, because if they are, they're usually dead. So because your paycheck is time on your clock, and everything that you go out and do, it costs you either a minute, second, hour, week, day. It's a crazy facet. It's Justin Timberlake's the lead, and Amanda Seyfried is essentially the love interest.
That's not the one. Am I thinking of the different one where they have that clock that you can donate time to people?
Yeah, so you can give time or you can take time, and they do the fights,
the wrists and stuff. Yeah, but isn't that the one where he his mother or something?
As Olivia Wilde.
She
dies at the beginning.
He's trying to get to her, so he can give her time, and then she ends up.
She dies in his arms. Yeah.
Wow.
Very very happy movie.
Yeah, that's so super
Speaking
chill.
of happy endings,
well, I mean, essentially what they do is the plot of the movie is they go around robbing the banks where the time is being held, and start distributing it out to the poor areas of the community or their zone that they're at.
Nice. I know what Tony's about to talk about because I glanced at it. I was like, "Oh, that is a good one. We should talk about it." And I was like, "Wait, can I beat Tony to the punch on this?
Proposal?
That'd be so fucked up if I said this movie." But I'm actually, and then I thought of a Jude Law movie that I'm trying to remember. So you can talk about your favorite movie.
Repo Man?
No.
That's a really good working class movie.
No. Well, Clerks. Clerks is the one he saw on my screen here.
Yeah.
So
Hold on, honey. Daddy's got to get his heart repossessed.
Yeah. But you want to talk about a movie where guys are working? It's Clerks.
Yeah.
They do work. You got Dante and Randall doing their thing.
$15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If your money doesn't go.
Show.
Then
you owe me. My jungle love.
Oh.
Okay,
but somebody give me some chapstick.
It may not have been Jude Law. I thought it was.
But you got guys that are working all day, all night in a video store, in a convenience store. It's just it's good old fashioned blue collar, just straight life, just getting by and just doing your thing, man.
Yeah.
It's a good working movie, man. It tells you about how they hate to work and how they love, but they hate not to be there. I mean, that was the whole theme of the second movie. He's like, come on.
Or the first one was the one where they were playing hockey on the roof, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't care enough to work, but, they still have to be there, so they're going to stay home.
There's no one coming by.
No, it wasn't that. It was because Dante wasn't supposed to be there that day. He had a hockey game he was playing. He got called in. He just had closed the night before. But his coworker called him and said, hey, can you work for me? And he's like, I'll be in late. So he's on the phone with him at the very beginning of the movie. He's like, better not be late. He's like, I'm serious. You better show up. And the guy ended up, leaving town. But he had his hockey game that he had planned, and he's like, "Hey, it's not my fault. The owner wouldn't come in, blah blah blah." He's like, I had a hockey game, so, and that's when Randall's like, "Hey, no argument from here." He's like, "No argument from me here." He's like, "Insubordination rules." But everybody's trying to get the Gatorade. He's like, "Can I get a Gatorade?" He's like, "No, because if you get a Gatorade, then everybody else is going to want to get Gatorade." He's like, "So who's going to pay for all these Gatorades?"
So there's a movie I was thinking of, and I could have sworn it was starring Jude Law, but I couldn't find it. It's actually about to be made into a television show.
Okay.
But basically, the main character wants to get a job, and to get a good job, you need to have. You can't be. I don't think it's like a clone or anything, but you can't have no drugs, no alcohol, no nothing, and you need to be certified in the system. So he finds a guy.
Gattaca.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So was that Jude Law?
Yeah. So Jude Law is he's
the guy he's becoming.
Right.
Think of it.
Ethan Hawke is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the society has been able to genetically kind of engineer babies.
Mm-hmm. And if you weren't a genetically engineered baby, you can't get jobs.
Right. He's trying to be an astronaut. Mm-hmm. And so he has some kind of heart defect that he was just born with. But other people that are in the high part of society, they've all been genetically engineered. Like they go to see a guy who's playing the piano. He's playing with 12 fingers, so he's got 6 fingers on each hand, and that's how he's able to play the piano, like this masterpiece of a piano, whatever they call it, concert or something.
Pianist.
Concerto.
No, whatever the piece of music he wrote,
symphony.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, so it's about somebody who just wants to work hard to be what they want. But I remember part of the movie, he's like, he's talking to Ethan Hawke. He's like, everything looks right and everything seems right, except his driver's license record says he's 6'1". You're 5'11". So there's a scene where he has to do bone lengthening surgery to become taller. And then he's going in for his first day of work, and he's like, Jesus Christ. I can't remember the character. Jude Law. Well, do you have any piss bags that don't have any alcohol in it?
Yeah, because that was he had an accident and he was in a wheelchair, but he wasn't nobody knew about it.
Yeah. He was
a
recluse.
Was basically selling his life, out to right.
Well, so I'm gonna mention you hate the movie. I already know because you told us many times how much you hate
Tower Heist.
No, besides that one.
Oh.
But it's a very popular career for a lot of people. Some people use it as a stepping stone. Some people use it as a career move, whatever it may be. But the hospitality industry, and that would be waiting.
And the movie just grosses me out.
It's only the one scene that
it's all of the
scenes. All of the scenes.
I don't want to know that my waiters are playing the ball sack game in the back.
Yes, you do.
I eat there.
And they don't wash their hands.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing.
I told you that's
see, here's the bat wing, so you just keep that. You see how it stretches out
But the place that we go to, it's more some of the other regulars that you have to worry about.
That's true.
They're more disgusting.
That is definitely.
I'm not going to name names, but
I will.
I can name fingers and point names.
I did scream at one of them again yesterday.
Oh, really?
For being disgusting.
Oh, God, I got to hear it.
Yeah, I'll tell you offline.
All right.
It's not enough for the audience to
It's not enough that you had to live it and we have to hear about it.
Yeah, it was gross. But
was it CB though?
Yeah. Well, it had to do with him. Yeah. So I yelled at him. He's like, "Okay, no, I'm just going to ignore you from now on." I'm like, "No, I love you. I just think you're a disgusting human being." Yeah.
You're cool. I just hate your face.
No, I don't hate his face. I hate the things he does.
Everything you're all about, I am not.
I just want to walk around and just spray him with sanitizer all the time. I'm just saying. Let's call a spade here.
Yes.
But the reason why I bring up waiting is because that is a very, very popular job for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Especially in film industry, college students, working their way through. Some people just get into it and like it and, end up moving up within the company. But I bring up waiting because it is like, it's not a very rewarding job. I mean, you can make good money, but I mean, in terms of all the stuff you have to deal with, like people like you. And Justin Long at the end has...
and you.
What do I order drinks?
I know, I'm joking with you.
But Justin Long at the end of the movie does have a realization that this is not the career path for him.
Yes.
And he does quit. Without a future opportunity. That's the dumbest. Like, decide to quit and find a new job. That's all well and good. But you don't cut off your only source of income. Damn it. I learned that the hard way. At the same age he probably was in that movie.
I think he could have found another, waiting job though. Yeah. I mean, he was really good at it.
And he got offered one.
Yeah.
By the steakhouse guy.
Yeah, so that's what he probably, I'm going to work.
Well, he doesn't want to be a waiter anymore. That's all.
I know. I'm just saying, if he said, "Hey, right now nothing else is coming across, I'll just get another job."
Yeah.
Yeah. Darn it! It's not like he worked for Lockheed Martin or something.
But maybe he should be.
No,
I mean it's Justin Long, so probably not. Love you,
He's
Justin.
doing just fine.
Yeah.
His
well, I don't know. I've seen that movie Tusk. I don't know how well he's doing that.
He's doing just fine.
He left and went to his. He found his character in Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Yeah, right.
Are you a gay porn star? Yes. It's okay. My movies aren't designed to you. Like, why? Do you like vagina? Yes. Then it's not for you.
It's like in a Jay and Silent Bob reboot when he played the lawyer.
Oh yeah,
he's like the gay lawyer, and he's like. He's whatever he says, but he's like, "Oh man, we watch all the Law and Order." He's like, Dick Wolf is a genius. He's like, that's my grinder name is Dick Wolf, or like Dick Wolfer or something. Yeah. Dick Wolfer 69. It's like, remember, come find me on Grindr. Remember, Dick Wolfer 69. He's like, he does that like voice.
Yeah,
that's just so.
It's like so deep and raspy.
Hey, it's Jay and Silent Bob. He like gets them out of the one charge, and then he's like, after he had them sign that paper, and they're like, the people versus Jay and Silent Bob, who's representing? I am your honor. Wait, you're our lawyer. But so yeah, there's a lot of stuff we are coming close to time though here, so we got about 6-7 minutes left. Yeah. But do you have anything you want to highlight right now?
No, I think I talked
anything
about everything.
Specific?
Labor Day, once again, it's a very important holiday that we have to celebrate all the people that do all that, the steam fitters, construction, manual labor, blue-collar people. But I think we've hit all the solid notes for this holiday.
And damn it, we're going to be working on Labor Day.
You're going to be working on Labor Day.
On Labor Day.
We're not recording on Labor Day?
What?
No, that's the day.
Oh, that's right. It's a Monday. It's not a Sunday. Haha. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah. I mean, now that you mention it, let's make you work on Labor Day.
Damn it. Great. Now I got 10 films to watch.
Yeah. Yep. But it is, like you said, it's a super important holiday. A lot of people just bypass it and figure, hey, it's my day off.
It's like Memorial Day. Everyone thinks like, oh, this is a chance to cook out, grill out, you get drunk. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's how you celebrate these holidays. Yep. Especially Memorial Day's, quote unquote, the unofficial kickoff of summer. Labor Day is the unofficial end of summer.
Yep.
So it is great. Say hello to summer with a barbecue, say goodbye with a barbecue.
Unless you live in Florida, it just means that, you have 6 more months of...
Yeah, it's still 90 degrees outside. Like, it's not going away until, like, Thanksgiving. Yeah. Thanksgiving is the end of summer for us.
But I think a lot of people bypass the actual meaning of the actual
And it's the same
day.
thing of Memorial. A lot of people bypass the meaning of that one. That one's to honor our fallen soldiers.
That's right.
Yeah, I know it.
And current soldiers.
Right? And current. Like, anybody in the active or non-active military.
Yes.
I think we talked a lot about some great Labor Day movies that do... shine a light on an area of society that doesn't really get a light shine on it, the working class.
Yep.
We talked a lot. There were a lot of great movies out there, and the movie industry isn't it's currently dead at the moment. But
they're working on
they are performing CPR.
I did see that Dune got pushed back.
Yeah.
I was upset, but oh well.
Craven the Hunter got put back too.
Yeah.
But let's utilize, since we only get a couple minutes, actually, since you brought that up, I want to talk about it, but it's a nice segue. So speaking of, for Labor Day, unfortunately, due to the strikes, we do want to say we are sorry for all the writers and actors that are not able to get their work going and getting their projects moving.
We've made a few we've made a few friends in the film industry, and they're not allowed to work at the moment. Yep. Shane Benson, who's been on the show before,
or even talked to us.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've invited him back, but because SAG is striking, he's like, he said he can't do anything. He can't promote. He can't do anything. He can't. As long as he's a member of SAG, he can't be on any form of media.
Yep. So unfortunately, they are not going to be able to celebrate this holiday as like everybody else would. Yeah. This holiday is going to be a little more sad for them now, but you know, we do hope that everything gets worked out there in terms of you know, get the stuff signed, get the deals done, and I'm not saying that for the actors and writers to go ahead and just sign anything. I'm saying let's hope
make sure it's a good deal.
Let's hope that it gets all signed off so they can get back on track and start making some more good flicks for us to watch and talk about. Because without those, we have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, the show is dead if the SAG and the American Writers Guild is dead.
Not only your livelihood's at stake, so is ours.
Yes. But that is about all the time we have. So again, thank you everybody for listening. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Again, this will. By the time you hear this, Labor Day will have already passed, but we hope you enjoyed it. Stay safe, stay good. Again, don't forget, we are on Spotify. Make sure you check us out there, listen, subscribe, you know, smash the like button.
Smash that like button.
There you go, as Patrick likes to say. You know, available on YouTube, soon to be on, you know, Elevation Movies.
And our Spotify subscribers is getting pretty close to that mark we need. So tell your friends and family to subscribe. Greatly appreciate it.
Yep. Make an account for your dog.
Yep.
You know they like it.
And then also we, are also available on WDBF Radio, WDBF.FM, or WDBFradio.com every Sunday between 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. So lots of stuff going on, lots more that's going to be going on. But until then, for Movie Talks and Chill, we are your hosts. Have a happy Labor Day to you. I am Tony Serrato.
I'm Gavin Butts.
I'm Patrick Wall.
All right, guys, take care. Don't forget, guys, you can visit us at our website, movietalksandchill.com. Email us at talktous@movietalksandchill.com, or find us on our YouTube channel.
You can also follow us on social media on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Movie Talks and Chill.
You can listen to us on Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Cast, Radio Public, coming soon to Apple Podcasts, CastBox, and Overcast.
New episodes available every Wednesday. Talk to you then. Theme music for our podcast was composed, arranged, and performed by Paul the Rock.